Hello guys, Sapphire Agame with a review of Reign. And so last night on Reign was definitely an interesting episode. So we have Mary and Francis along with Catherine preparing the christening of Francis's bastard child by Lola. So they're going over like who should the godparents be and stuff like that. And Catherine, saying that you're such a you're gonna claim them, you gotta make it big, because not a small little ceremony. And so Mary asks Lola, who do you want the godparents to be? And then Catherine be like, he needs godparents of standing, and all Lola's family is back in Scotland. So Lola leaves, and Mary goes after her and asks her, is anything wrong? Did she do anything wrong? And Lola's like, no, Lola pretty much doesn't want to ruin her friendship with Mary. That's a primary thing. And she notices that Mary never actually got angry with her, At this point, Mary had just been nice about it, just nice about it, just nice about it. Like, I think Lola wants Mary to get mad at her because, as women, think about it. Would you really be that calm knowing that your husband has slept with your best friend and then got her knocked up, and then you as the queen since the day you have married since the day she married Francis, there's this pressure for her to get pregnant. It's not like she could, again, as I said probably in the past video, like she can't tell Francis' sperm, hey, knock up, connect with my eggs. She can't do that. So it's like this pressure as a female is all on her to get pregnant. It's like, damn, she needs Francis too to make it happen. She can't do it by herself. So we have that going on. Grill's still worried about her relationship with Castleroy. He's very upset. She's been writing him letters. He hasn't been writing her back. And then Kendall's like, to sort of think of, look at yourself and think about what you want and stuff like that, And then we have an announcement from Mary Lisa. Mary announces that she is pregnant, and she says it's been a few weeks, but she just wanted to make sure, and she's pregnant with their baby. So her and Francis embrace, and she's all happy. And then they show them, in the act of, making out and everything, getting, doing the do, having sex. Catherine burst into the room like, oh, like a grandma, like a parent is saying when they finally find out their son is having a baby or their daughter's having a baby. That's how she busted in. And she's like, I'm like, well, dang, one Catherine could have not, because obviously her son is naked, and so is Mary. So they're like, it's like, yo, Catherine, like, dang, it's kind of embarrassing, So then she sends a service and starts giving, just starts having Mary showing Mary all these things like oil and stuff about you're gonna eat because you're gonna lose your finger any dang way. I'm like, well, thanks, Catherine. So find out that Catherine has been known Mary was pregnant. She was waiting for Mary to tell Francis, because she pretty much had her spies there. She even had Mary's chamber pot tested. So I'm guessing that's old school pregnancy tested, because she says she used urine and like some horse feces or something. Whatever, she figured out this girl was pregnant. I'm like, okay, gross. Ew. And she said she also noticed that, as a woman, that she's been married, she's been pregnant a couple times. So she's gonna notice like the sign, like, your, like, certain things in a woman, like a face, her waist, she notices a little bit bigger, than normal. And so like that. So that, I thought that scene was just funny. Catherine comes in like, oh, Joy. Like, she just bursts in while your son and his wife is naked and having sex. Like, really? You just can't, she could at least nod. That's embarrassing. You up in your mood, you get your grind on. Mom comes in, oh, like, damn, Mom, I am naked. Mom, I am not a kid no more. You can't see me like this. It's like, dang. So, Mary's all excited. She has, and she wanted to tell people herself, but, of course, Catherine excited that Francis is, but her main reason why she's actually excited, because since Mary is now pregnant, it strengthens her hold on the throne, not only the throne of France, but also the throne of England, because obviously Elizabeth, she is not yet wed, nor is she has any children. So, this, pretty much the idea that, as a woman, the whole, you strengthen your hold on the throne by, perceive, but, give, birthing in the air, most likely it had to be a boy, to the throne. Elizabeth, as we all know, they call her the Virgin Queen, so, even though from what I've seen in adaptations, she wasn't that much of a virgin. But anyway, so you got that situation, Catherine. And then we have what else made? Oh, we have Bash, the deputy, along with Francis' cousin Louis. That's his name. I couldn't remember his name for nothing. They go investigate, a situation happened. So this man's talking about, he saw some black riders, and they asked him to renounce God, and they wanted to mark him so they could take his soul. I'm like, what kind of demonic shit is going on in France? And so he said he said no, he refused. He would never renounce, his faith in God. And so later they had to go back to his place because he had killed his wife and his children. Oh, I think it was only one child. Wife and this child, you covered in their blood and everything. And then when Bash tells him to remove his shirt, they find this mark on him. It's like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It's like two lines going this way, and it's like this. It's like, dun, dun, like that. So I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. So of course, Bash reports it to Francis, and Louis like, this is a superstition. It's just people trying to, it's just Catholics trying to scare the Protestants and, becoming back to Catholic, because, the whole situation, the Protestants leaving from the Catholic and everything. But Bash is like, maybe it's pretty much, what Bash thinks is pretty much just like karma. We, people, we have done things that we regret, and now it's coming back to haunt us. And for Francis, he killed his daddy, and so he's worried. So he says that pretty much blood must pay for blood. It's interesting he said that, because the day of Lola's child's christening, Mary is feeling some pain, so she tells Francis, nothing. And then Louis comes like, what's wrong? She's like, just take me to the room. She starts to feel some pain, so he goes to take her to her chambers. Sits her down and notices that she has blood on her shoes and coming down her leg. And Mary realizes that she's having a miscarriage, that she's losing a baby. And Louis is like, you need to tell Francis. She's like, no, I don't want to tell Francis. I don't want to tell Lola. She don't want to tell nobody right now because the baby's Christian and she doesn't want to ruin that day, right? And so the Christian happens, He gets his title and everything, and everybody's happy. France eventually finds out that Mary lost her baby, and he embraces in a hug. But my thing is with her losing the baby is she had a miscarriage. So my best guess to why she had a miscarriage is, one, is the stress, because she was constantly in stress of trying to get pregnant in the first damn place. So that probably took a toll on her. Two, throughout this show, since Mary finally told everybody she got pregnant, she was knocking back drinks like nobody's business. I'm like, let's toast the champagne. One drink. She was at the party. A drink. I'm like, I understand, back then they didn't know you're not supposed to drink when you had a baby, but I'm pretty sure that's probably helped the reason to her to lose a baby. Like, she was knocking back drinks like, I'm like, damn, Mary, just take the whole bottle. What the hell? So then it was, of course, a situation where her and Lola had a sort of, they finally had the argument that I've been waiting for. I'm like, because them trying to be very nice about it obviously was killing them inside. I'm like, just say what you gotta say. So Mary's like, I've been nice to you and caring for you and blah 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 to you and all this stuff. So I've been helping you and stuff, and don't act like you're so innocent and blah blah blah. And because they brought up an issue because Narcisse had the girl that we saw her in the cage before. He was marrying her, and she had sent a note to Lola saying, "Help me." So Lola wanted Francis and Mary's help to get this girl to safety, because we have all, because there's been rumors about Narcisse that all his wives died. He killed one wife, after she had a miscarriage, you know, and stuff like that, you know, through sexual intercourse. So the situation arises with Lola and Soch, and Lola's like, after, cause Lola felt the girl's pain, like all she did was it's like one mistake ends up defining the rest of a female's future, which is true. Lola only slept with Francis this one time, and since then she has been called his mistress, his whore. You know, well, probably not. Well, they haven't said the whore on the show, but you know, obviously. That's what some people think, you know. She's a mistress, she's the whore, she's Francis, you know, it's like, as a female, you do one thing, and, you know, it's like you're trapped in this cage, and she says she's trapped in this cage, and Mary's like, you think you're the only one trapped in this cage, but then Lola points out that you're the queen. You may feel like you're in a cage, but you have more power in aspects of your life than Lola does, which is true. For example, Mary, in order to save Francis' life, she changed the line of succession, which pretty much caused a chain of events, which led up to where we are right now. It led up to, you know, by changing the law of succession, she made Francis no longer the heir to the French throne. So since he was no longer heir, he was now the bastard, and thus he had no claim to Mary. So that means him and Mary was separate. They're not even together no more. Yeah, you love him, but you're no longer together no more. So yeah, he's gonna say at this point in time he can sleep with everybody he effing wants to. So he ends up sleeping with Lola, and thus that one night she gets knocked up. It's not like y'all had condoms back then. Shit, you know. Two, another issue is when Mary, as we have seen, when Mary needs to save somebody, she will do it. She tried very hard to save Notre Dame. She tried what was another? She literally changed the line. She changed the line of succession to save Francis' life, and was willing to marry Bash, or she was willing to marry the guy from Portugal. She was willing, you know what I'm saying? I think this is what people don't understand, because I've been seeing so much on the comments about everybody hates Lola, everybody wants her to die, it's not fair that Mary lost a baby and Lola still has hers. But I don't think people are looking at the choices that Mary has made throughout season 1 to season 2 that has literally affected everything around her. Mary has to understand that everything she does, it may not affect her directly, but it affects everybody else around her, because at the end of the day, you're a queen. If you didn't want to marry Francis, look what you did. You were willing to marry Thomas, because King Henry wouldn't let you marry Francis. You was willing to marry Thomas, his man from Portugal. You changed the line of succession to save Francis' life, and you was willing to marry Bad. It's not like, you know, you ain't, you know, wasn't gonna marry Bad. We just saw you multiple times kiss Bad. You didn't have sex with him, but you still kissed him. And shouldn't that be like somewhere in girl code where you don't kiss, on guy code, girl code, you don't kiss you don't date siblings, you don't kiss siblings, you don't even have sex with them. Obviously, Mary has broken some codes, so I'm tired of everybody acting like Mary is a saint. The baby girl, she is not. I'm sorry. The choices she has made has affected and has caused all this drama that she thinks is everybody else's fault. Let's get that straight. 2, Francis is not getting it. I don't see nobody up here blaming Francis. Francis slept with Lola. He knew that was her best friend. He knew that was Mary's best friend. And he could have chose not to sleep with that girl, but he did. He slept with that girl. So he's at fault. Also is to blame. And when Mary was trying to bring it up about his responsibilities, you know, bring up, you know, him sleeping with Lola, he was like, oh, let's not talk about that right now. He never wants to talk about the things that he has done. Also, season 1, when he was with Mary engaged to this girl, did he not sleep with Olivia? I remember that episode plainly. And when she knocked on the door and everything, so, you know, what's going on, and she saw Olivia, and he was like, a queen does not question a king about what he, you know, about his business, and just close the door in her face. I'm like, oh, and let's not forget, he also locked her behind in the tower. Okay, Francis ain't all innocent. Everybody all Frary, I think that's their names again, Mary and Francis. Okay, he's not all innocent. And and let's go back to Mary. When Colin was accused of raping Mary, even though we all know he was set up by Catherine, Mary could have did what she did for Notre Dame to save Colin's life, but she did not. So that's why Lola, when she got upset with Mary, was like, yeah, we may be your friends, but at the end of the day, you're our queen, and we're nothing but your subjects. We can be harmed, but you can't. As close as people try to harm Mary is going to harm the people around her, or try to poison her indirectly. It's not, you know. But everybody else is pretty much vulnerable to being hurt because they can't, as Lord Narcissa says that, he says, I can't hurt you because you're a queen, but I can hurt those around you. So that's why he was trying to kill Nostradamus. Lola is prone, and look at what's going on with Lola. She said what they do one fucking time, and now she's his mistress. She be called his name. They be like, oh, you understand the power that you have? You have this son, and blah, 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 blah. Lola doesn't want that. And a lot of people don't understand. Lola tried to keep Mary and Francis and try out of this and keeping her friendship with Mary strong. When she found out she was pregnant, she didn't tell nobody. She was going to try to get an abortion. Greer and Kenna found out, told Mary, and they stopped her from having an abortion. Then they Mary's off to your boy Julian. Find out Julian wasn't even Julian. That the real Julian was dead, and she was marrying an apostle, and he ends up dying. So that's the second thing that failed for Lola. 3, she tried to leave when Louis offered her he had a passage on that boat to go up north to Norway. Lola was ready to go. She was packed and everything. Francis picked up the child, was like, no, you're not going to take my child away from me. You're going to stay here along with my child. So Lola has, on multiple occasions, 3 times, have tried to stay out of Francis and Mary's relationship and try to keep her friendship with Mary strong. But they kept bringing her back in. You can't. Francis and Mary can't bitch about how Lola's all this and all that. Well, she has shown multiple times that she has tried to rid herself of this situation, and you keep bringing her back in. So Mary's not a saint. Francis is not a saint. I like Lola, so people need to chill with all the Lola bashing, because it's a damn shame. Because it's like when a woman does something, all of a sudden she gets every single blame that is known to man, but nobody is willing to say any shit about the man that did it with her. And we see it all the time in the media. Women will go at each other's throat for sleeping with their man, but they would never go after the man themselves. They always go after the other woman. Always. Always. We are willing to cut each other's throat over some dick instead of going after his ass directly. That's all I'm saying. And also, within the episode, Greer makes it to Castleroy. And he's like, I'm going to call it the engagement and everything. And Greer's like, comes to the, that we haven't actually given this a chance. And so they went, bow, chicka, bow, bow. I'm like, about time, girl. Let live go. Let your past go. Embrace your future, girl. Embrace it. Embrace it. Woo, yes, love. So that's all so much for that episode of Reign. And I can't wait to see how this is going to go for next Thursday. But overall, I'm glad that Mary and Lola finally got their anger out, because them keeping it in, let me say this, keeping it in your emotions is never good. Sometimes you just gotta let it out, or it's gonna boil over, and it's gonna be very, very bad. So I'm glad they finally talked it out. I'm kind of curious of what's going on with these spirits things, and because Catherine saw some spirits, and the reckoning and everything. So I'm curious of how this is gonna go down with all these spirits and all these black riders actually agents of the devil, or they are actually people trying to scare people. So comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. I also want to know what's your thoughts on the Mary and Lola situation. With like who do you like most? Do you like Lola? What is your reasons? Or do you like Mary, and what is your reasons? Did you know this? I just want to know people's opinion, because so far I've just seen everybody that's bash on Lola, and I'm like, well, dang, she has tried. As I said, she has tried multiple times to try to not become this problem, but it's like they keep pulling her back in, like crabs in a barrel. The crabs will pull another crab back in, from escaping. So again, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. You can also follow me on Twitter, to keep updated about everything. So bye.